First off, I want to dive deep into the Star Wars original trilogy short film projects that we might be getting.
Yeah, what's this about?
This is from some somewhat reputable sources around Lucasfilm. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hey, this is a clip from our full episode, and you can check that out on our channel or in the description. Now, back to the clip. This comes from Sean O'Rourke, who says, I am hearing a rumor of a new Disney Plus series announcement coming at Star Wars Celebration of a series of short films with Luke, Han, and Leia. They also use a series of hashtags, which I find very fascinating, and that is hashtag CGI, hashtag deepfake technology, as well as Disney Plus. So when I first heard this, I was like, okay, animated thing, right? But what they are specifically saying is more than likely we'll see some of the technology used in The Mandalorian, as well as the rise of deepfake technology. And from what we've heard rumblings of, Lucasfilm and ILM do have a series of internal resources around deepfake technology that they use for stuff like Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, or Princess Leia in The Rise of Skywalker, or Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones movie.
True. Okay.
And these are specifically a series of short films, so I don't necessarily think we'll have to see them for an entire series or movie, which is good.
Short stories.
Yeah. So we've got Tales of the Jedi, that I think is the closest that we've gotten to something like this in the new Disney wave in terms of short films, as well as like Star Wars Visions as well, because those are all individual short films or animated shorts is kind of how they put it. But we haven't gotten anything live action in terms of short films. And maybe this is something that they want to implement that's lower budget, that expands on the original trilogy, because it seems like they're wanting to bring more people to the original trilogy, showcase those characters more, as well as getting a deeper understanding and fleshing it out, like they did with Ahsoka, like they did with Count Dooku in the Tales of the Jedi. So I think that may be something that they're looking at doing, and that's why they're looking at, okay, let's see what we can do. What does a short film look like set in the original trilogy with these original trilogy characters? Right. What does that even look like?
I have concerns, though, just with them saying short stories, because everything that I've seen that's been a short story has just been a little lackluster.
It's been hollow.
And honestly, I feel like Star Wars doesn't do well with short. It's got to be something epic, like it's got to be something big that we're building upon, sort of thing, or at least have some through line, or so I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about short stories and with characters who, is it bad to say that they've had their day?
I don't think it's a bad thing to say they've had their day. They literally have. They had freaking 35, 40 years of, I think it's like over 40, close to 50 years of the spotlight around the original trilogy. And we're still getting moments in the original trilogy. Most of the video games are set around the original trilogy. Like we have the Legends content. We have all of this content around the original trilogy. So I think that they've definitely had their moment. It's interesting that they'd want to go back to that when I think a lot of people would want more of like, if they said we're going to do a series of short films that's going to be like Anakin and Obi-Wan, I think we'd have a much different conversation than we're having right now, because the actors are still there.
Right.
They're still there. We've seen them in Obi-Wan, like they've shown interest in it. Could totally see that happening. In terms of a storytelling perspective, I agree with you entirely that I don't necessarily think Star Wars, with the current leadership that they're in, does short films very well. My biggest gripe with the Count Dooku stuff is we didn't get enough of it.
People who don't know Star Wars, I have to assume so. Like, oh, here's something bite-sized that I can watch that will get me started into Star Wars. Okay. But all of us fans are just kind of left with...
I would like the deep meat of the story.
Like, I do want more of those deeper dives. And if they can do that in the short form context, totally down for that.
I'm just doubtful that they can.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen anything.
And I kind of would want them to do something, put that effort into something else that they can really dive deeper into, like more Bad Batch or more prequel trilogy content. Like, would love to see stuff like that. But it's not confirmed yet either. So take that with a grain of salt. This is just something that's rumored to be happening, that they may just be developing internally to test out their deepfake context.
Exactly. That's kind of my thought, is that this is really just their excuse to work on the technology that they're processing.
Yeah, maybe it releases, maybe it doesn't, but it's something that they can exercise and say, oh yeah, we've been developing and working with it, because it's very different to develop something to be used and then actually using that thing. So it's always good. I mean, that's why Pixar makes shorts.
Right. Yeah. So maybe it's just that.